Okay, people. So, boy, I have just come back from a screening of The Harder They Fall. It is the opening film of today's 65th BFI London Film Festival. And yo, what a goddamn film to open things up. People, trust me, this is a banger. Right? When you think of everything that's opened a festival, I remember Widows, that being explosive, right? Just The Irishman, like there's always something good. It's always been enjoyable. And this, it really doesn't disappoint. It really doesn't. And hey, I'll, you know what I mean? I'll admit, I was worried. I was worried, you know? Uh, I think there was, right? It's hard to really, break down, but there is always that fear when it comes to, uh, black films, right? Because I think oftentimes things are perceived in a certain way that it's not really the thing, and then there's this expectation, right? There's this huge expectation on everything that gets produced. And I remember when gosh, I'm just trying to think of the film, right? It's it was that the western that Mario Van Peebles um he directed. Posse. Posse. Yes. Which came like 93, right? Which is whew, so old. So old. But at the time, we hadn't seen black westerns. You know what I mean? Hadn't seen black westerns before. So you were just like, huh. And it was, listen, it was, I enjoyed Posse. I really did. But, I think it is fair to say it wasn't, you know, when you talk about outstanding westerns, right? When you roll those ones off the tongue, Unforgiven is always up there. Um, Serafina Falls, that was fantastic. But Posse isn't in your top five. You know what I mean? So it's how was this gonna be? You know what I mean? How was Harder They Fall going to stand up to it? Now, right, like Posse, because Posse, when you think the cast, right? You had Mario Van Peebles, Stephen Baldwin, Billy Zane, Tone Loke, Melvin Van Peebles, Tiny Lister, Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? Blair Underwood, Isaac Hayes, Robert Hooks, Richard Jordan, Pam Grier. Oh my gosh. And more. Right? It was a stellar. Reginald Hoodland was up in there. It was an incredible cast. And yeah, Harder They Fall does not disappoint on the cast. Doesn't disappoint on the cast. And the crazy thing is, just the talent is all the way through, right? It's directed by James Samuel, the actually the brother of Seal, right? Musician, songwriter, record producer. And so I don't know if you'd automatically think, yo, he's gonna be the one to tear this up. But yo, oh, Samuel's tears. He tears this up, man. He wrote the screenplay along with Boza Yakin. He created the story. It is produced by him, James Lassiter, Lawrence Bador, and Jay-Z. Yeah, you know, cinematography is Sean Bobbitt and Mia Malimar Jr. It's a Netflix joint. You know what I mean? Overbook Entertainment did their thing on it. And as I said, look, the cast, right? It's a sensational cast. Jonathan Majors is Nate Love. Idris Elba is a Rufus Buck. We've got Zazie Beetz as Stagecoach Mary. Regina King is Trudy Smith. Or oh god, what was it? Was it? I think she said Trenchcoat Trudy, something like that. All right. Yeah, she has a few little pseudonyms, which are great. We have Delroy Lindo as Bass Revs. Lakeith Stanfield as Cherokee Bill. RJ Seiler as Jim Buckworth. Danielle Deadwill as Kofi. Has Eddie Garrigui as Bill Pickett. Dion Cole as a Wiley Eskew. And Damon Wayans is also up in the piece. I forget his character's name. All right. Boy, people, it is insane. So the story is this: when outlaw Nate Love discovers that his enemy, Rufus Buck, is being released from prison, he rounds up his gang to track Rufus down and seek revenge. Those riding with him in this absurd, righteously new school Western include his former love, Stagecoach Mary, his right and left hand men, hot tempered Bill Pickett and fast drawing Bill Buckworth, and a surprising adversary turned ally. Rufus Buck has his own fearsome crew, including treacherous Trudy Smith, Cherokee Bill, and they are not a group that knows how to lose. I mean, the names are great, right? The names are freaking great. It's just, boy, it just jumps out at you, man. These are just incredible names and everything like that. It just it just jumps, man. The film really just pops, and I think it definitely has to be said, that the score was incredible, right? And Jay-Z, I believe, did produce the score, and that worked so well, right? The score worked so well with this film, and it's not so much just the songs, but the way the songs blended into the film and worked with what we were seeing on the screen, the action, everything like that. So we start off. Now, I will say, so although this is a fictional film, as it were, these characters did exist. These characters did exist. And so, this is the other importance of this film, right? Because watching Westerns, you never really saw black people, right? The only minorities you kind of saw were, the Native Americans, sometimes Chinese people, but, never in great roles. You know what I mean? Never in great roles. But that was it. Now, you then saw a few black people start to kind of appear, Morgan Freeman's in Unforgiven, but not really doing much, And I think there's a period of time as a young kid you believe, oh, there were no black people in the Wild West. Which does sound absurd, right? You kind of feel, but there would be, right? Especially the Wild West. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but then you learn, oh, there were, there were, and oftentimes in these old westerns that we'd see, the character was an actual based on an actual black outlaw person. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just like, damn. Like, when we ever gonna see this on a big motherfucking screen, yo? And that's what I'm talking about with the importance of of a film. So this one, actually, we see all of that, right? We see it, it brings it to life, and it doesn't let us down. So we open up, and we've got, we see a table of food. We got a wife, a kid, and the dad. Dad is he seems to be a preacher man. So they're sitting down, and you're just about to say grace when there's a knock on the door. And it's just like, yo, who's knocking at this hour, right? Who's knocking at this hour? So it's, he gets up, goes to, goes to see. And at the door, oh, it's a bad man. And he knows shit ain't right. He knows shit ain't gonna be good. And we see him sit down at the table, and the guys pulls out his guns, his 2 shooters, gold plated, which are just like, yo, what? Like, gold plated guns? What is happening here? And it's kind of, it's a colorful scene, right? Visually. So there is the fear that, oh, this ain't gonna be that rugged western. This ain't gonna be that hard hitting affair. I hope with Gold Guns, this is gonna be some sort of comedy thing. Oh man, what are we doing here? Oh, that is crossed straight away. Because what happens in that room, that ain't no comedy shit, people. That ain't for the faint-hearted. Although, it's not grotesque, violent wise. It's just how it goes down. How it goes down is just like, ooh. So his partner walks into the room, restrains the kid, and yeah, it goes crazy. Goes crazy. We never see faces, which makes it even more sinister, right? Makes it even more sinister. So then we get sometime later, we're gonna flash up on the screen, and it's time for the payback, people. So we see a priest walk in to collect some money from the church, and there's a guy kneeling there, gets up, and he's talking to the priest, and you then realize, oh shit, right? You realize a thing, and it boom, the payback starts, which is fun. It is so fun. And then we start to get introduced to Nate Love's crew, right? So we see the Red Hand Gang, pull off, they obviously pulled off some sort of heist and they're racing. And then we get Jim and so Jim and Bill, right? Jim and Bill? I'm gonna say Jim and Bill. Yeah, Jim and Bill. I don't know why I doubt myself sometimes, people. But we see them, and their peoples take the Red Hand Gang out. So we're starting to meet people. What is fun right? What is really fun is we then kind of roll into the credits, you know, the credits. What do you call the stuff you always see at the beginning of a film? They're credits too, in a way, but I think the opening titles, let's say that, the opening titles. But hey, there's a little playfulness with that, which when it happens, you're like, okay, okay, right? It gives you the effect of a broken film reel, which is kind of fun, right? And then we get the opening credits, uh, which are done very well, right? And we get into this film, and this film, oh, just the way everyone's introduced, the way the things go down, right? It's not. Remember, gosh, it was Batman versus Superman, right? And they were introducing the Justice League, and Bruce Wayne breaks into Wonder Woman's house, and he goes on a computer, and then we get like he's like looking at files, and we introduced to all Cyborg, Aquaman, and it was just so ham-fisted in the way it was done. And in other films, sometimes it just ruins the flow of the film as we're getting these introductions, and it seems to go on and on and on, and you're like, oh, what are we doing? Yo, not here. It works so well. Works so well. All these introductions and everything like that. Everyone has their own flavor, right? Everyone has their own flavor. And it's just, oh, there's this magnetism to the way our viewing pleasure here. So what I'll say, right, there is so many good things, whether it's, as I said, look, the sound, right? So sometimes you have the music blend in or come out of hoofbeats. Yeah, crazy, right? You have like a church bell, and that kind of springs with sound, and the music and the vibrations and everything like that. There's a bit when we kind of meet Stagecoach Mary, but she's a singer, right? And so she's walking to the stage, hitting the ground with a gun. With the stock of the gun, it's hitting the ground. Boom, boom, and this vibration, and then the music hits with the song she sings, and it's just like, yo, feel this in my soul, people. Feel this in my fucking soul. It is fantastic. Yes. This is a fantastic film, right? The cinematography is fantastic. So good, right? We have some crazy great shots, like just sweeping shots of vistas, right? Panning around, people riding. There's this great shot where we got Rufus like looking through a window, and then we pan out to Nate sitting on a horse at the far end of the street. Then we flip back to the window. We have some great shots like that. It just, everything enriches the film. Everything enriches it. And the language. Language is great, right? Now, it's not that poetic, flow like we saw in the Tangle, but this, it has its own rhythm, it has its own beat. The characters interact in a way that makes sense. It's a contemporary, but it still feels like the Western, right? And I said, everyone has their own way of talking, own way of inhabiting the screen. So it doesn't feel like we're getting these carbon copies, these, plastic characters with no depth whatsoever. No, everyone's got this depth for however much screen time they may get. It it works so well. And just when we go to Redwood, the town, right, the way the town looks and everything like that. So then when we hit Maysville, I mean, right? It's just this visual effect that they do to signify the difference of the towns. Now, we do get the name pop up and then a caption underneath, which hammers it home. And it just made everyone in the place laugh, right? And laugh, as I said, this isn't a slapstick comedy. It's not that, but there are plenty of times when you just laugh. The audacity of something that gets said. You're just like, yo, what? What did they just say? You mean what is happening there? Come on, man. That no, no. And so yeah, it works in that way that just it really speaks to you, you know? It really does speak to you, and you are just blown away by it. Blown away by it, people. And it's the world premiere, opens the festival, and as I said, not disappointed. Now, I got to see it at the Royal Festival Hall. First time Royal Festival Hall has shown films, and again, I was worried the screen might be too far back. Oh no, it was a fantastic experience. Now, obviously, right? You may have missed the premiere of this. You know, took place tonight, but there are other opportunities. So tomorrow, Thursday the 7th, it is playing midday, 2:15 at the Royal Festival Hall. Then, if you can't do that, don't worry, because there is a weekend screening. The 10th of October, 11 in the morning, it's playing at the BFI South Bank NFT1. So, yeah, the 7th or the 10th are your other opportunities to go see this film, people. And, yo, do not miss it. You know what I mean? Do not miss. There's you. It is something you do want to see on the big screen. Now, it will be hitting the cinema, right? So it will be hitting the cinema on the 22nd of October, I believe, for a limited run. Okay. And then it's coming to Netflix on I believe it is the 3rd of November. So I understand if you want to wait, money, maybe you're still not comfortable with going outside. I understand. I get it. But I will say, look, you're going to love it on whatever size screen you do see it on. You will love it. Trust me, people. But seeing it on a big screen with the sound system, everything like that, oh my days, it's just going to rock your world. Rock your world. And yeah, it seemed that everyone loved this film. Everyone clapped at the end. It just was like there were twists in the film that you didn't expect. You know what I mean? It wasn't just this linear story of revenge. It's incredible. It is so good. I'm so glad I got to see it. So people, do not let yourselves down, right? Do not let yourselves down and get your asses to see it too. If the festival opens like this, boy, we are getting another incredible year, people. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow with more London Film Festival stuff. All right, enjoy and go see The Harder They